Hello and welcome to Program 32 in this series of tutorials and programs that focus on TradeStation EasyLanguage. If you want to download this program, you can do so at the webpage, which is going to be at markplex.com, markplex.com, where you can also sign up to receive emails when I release a new tutorial or program. So Program 32 is, I was asked by a Gold Pass member if I could develop a program that looked back throughout the history of a chart and determined at which times the high of the day and the low of the day most frequently occurred. So that is what I've done in this program. The way that it works is each day it monitors the price and keeps a record of the time when the highest value of the day occurs and also a time when the lowest value of the day occurs. Having done that, it then looks at those times and using vectors, and we use vectors and methods in this program developed in version 9.0. If that time has occurred previously, then we increment the counter of how many times that has occurred. If it hasn't occurred previously, then we add a new time value pair to the vector with the time and 1 being the number of times it has occurred. And then having done that, we then finally sort the vectors. We have two vectors, one for the highs, one for the low. We sort those vectors and then we plot on the chart dots showing the most frequent, the next most frequent, the next most frequent, the next most frequent, etc. up to 5. And you can determine how many of those you do up to 5. So for example, if we set the well, let's just look at the inputs, maybe that will make a little more sense. This is a ShowMe study, by the way, and you can control the colors of those dots, but I've set it at high frequency tops, high frequency bottoms. So if high frequency tops, or HFREC tops, is set to 2, then we would just plot the most frequent and the second most frequent, and the same for the high frequency bottoms. If that was set to 3, we'd show the most frequent, second most frequent, and the third most frequent. And then you can determine the colors of those. So for example, for the top colors, I've set the topmost color to be red, the next most frequent to magenta, then dark red, dark magenta, and dark gray, and similarly for the bottom colors. So for example, with high frequency tops set at 2, we should only see red and magenta dots appearing on the chart. We shouldn't see the dark red, the dark magenta, and I think you can see those occurring there. And what I've done is I've plotted the highs at the high and the lows, or rather the tops at the high and the bottoms at the low, so you can see there. So this program might be useful for you if you're interested in learning about vectors and manipulating vectors, and also methods in TradeStation 9.0, and of course if you're interested in doing some sort of analysis as to whether the previous most frequent times when the low or the high occurred are any predictor of that happening for future days. Anyway, hope you might find this program useful. Thank you.